when folk like that come around, I got to stand there in the midst of that mess and say, I still got hope. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I'm the only one folk drive by my house and see if I'm still there putting my key. I'm the only one. Folk drive by to see if that Cadillac going to be replaced yet, and they still see the church van parked out there. I know I'm the only one. Is it true what I heard? Good as you preach, you doing that bad? Is it true? And I got to stand there and say, I still got hope. You know she going to leave you. She tired of your mess. Keep checking by my house. She's still cooking. I still got hope. That's why in Leviticus 19 and 16 and Proverbs 18 and 8, look what God says. He says, I don't like a talebearer. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. The words of a talebearer as wounds that go down into the innermost parts of the belly. At first I didn't understand, it's just common sense. You don't like nobody running their mouth about everything. You just don't. You can't shut up. Don't you know when you were little and that one always telling, mama, 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 mama. After about 6 months you hear mama, pop. You always telling on somebody. Tell on yourself. I used to think that that's what God meant about this tale-bearing, but I see different now. These folk that bear bad news, the reason that God hates it is because they're handing down judgment. They're distributing a sentence, they're magnifying the obvious, and they're finalizing the verdict on your situation. And the last time I checked, they ain't died for nobody. And here they are pointing out to me how bad things are. And God hates them because they are the culprits that steal your hope. I told my wife the other day, I don't want to hear nobody else bring me no bad news. I told Deacon Henry, I don't want to hear no more bad news. He said, but what about when folk are wrong? I said, that's not what I mean. I can counsel folk. I can help you all I can. But don't just come bringing me no dirt. I got enough at my own doorstep. I don't want to hear no more bad news. And Peter says in this crucible of bad news that we have to look them in the face and say, I still have hope. Let's look at how bad news is. Has anybody been checking the news lately? There's enough bad news. You might go to the hospital, and I'm not going to speak that here, but in Las Vegas now, in public hospitals, the only public hospital that they have, if you're a cancer patient now, you might as well call the morgue because they've cut out the services now. No more chemo for folk that have got cancer. It's that bad in this country now. That's bad news. The stock market still ain't rebounded, has it? Bad news. North Korea has nuclear weapons now, and they're trying to point them this way. Did y'all know that? Bad news. Russia is strong again. Foreclosures at an all-time high. And GM is about to declare bankruptcy. I wish they'd have did it before I wrecked my Cadillac. Unemployment is at record heights, and for some folk, finding a job is near impossible. Does anybody need a job? Gas is going back up by summertime. Now, I don't know why. Why is gas going? Bad news. Food prices are up and you're getting less food. Schools are getting shut down and teachers are getting laid off. And the last I checked, AIDS is not in remission. People are getting divorced at unbelievable rates. Suicide is up, murder is up, and on and on and on, etc., etc., etc. And so with my television telling me all these things, don't knock on my door or dial me or text me and add to this mess. It's enough already. You ain't got to like me today. And so Peter says in the crucible of bad news that we're supposed to look at folk, even though we told them not to come. One thing about bad news bearer, they still going to show up. And you got to tell them we still have hope. Now hear me. We're not to focus on bad news, but on hope.